What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm going to be predicting the outcome of David Morrell versus Radivoje Kalajdzic, and this is going to be a 12-rounder for the vacant WBA Light Heavyweight World Championship, and this fight is going to be Saturday, August 3rd, from the BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, California, and this fight is going to be broadcasted on DAZN pay-per-view. And to get into both fighters' resumes, David Morrell, fighting out of Cuba, holds a record of 10 wins, no losses, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. He is currently ranked number 6 by BoxRec in the super middleweight division, and he's also the current WBA regular super middleweight world champion, so moving up in weight here, trying to get this WBA regular vacant light heavyweight title. And he's obviously also currently 26 years of age, stands at 6 feet 1 inches tall, and has a 78.5-inch reach. He's also a southpaw, so he's a lefty as well. And to get into his resume, I mean, he's been fighting for world titles since his third fight, where he beat Lennox Allen via unanimous. For his first 2 fights were against really low guys, destroyed them. His third fight, he already fought someone who was 22-0 in 2020, and that was for the interim WBA title, won via unanimous decision. Then he kept fighting kind of lower-level guys, but still had those titles on the line. He knocked out Mike Grovansky after defeating Lennox Allen. Then he fought for the WBA regular world title at the super middleweight division, which he currently does hold, where he knocked out Mario Caceres, and then defended that belt even further, defeating Alantes Fox by stoppage, Calvin Henderson by stoppage, and impressively stopping Aidos Yerbasinoli late, along with defeating guys like Yamaguchi Falcao in the first round, and also knocking out guys like Senag Beko in the second round most recently. So he's really just blown through all these guys, hasn't really seen any trouble yet in his career, and he's just been a real force, and he's only got 10 fights, and like 7 of them are like title fights, which is pretty impressive. But obviously we got to see him step up in competition, and I do think Kalajdzic is a step up, if I'm going to be 100% honest, despite his older age. But to get into his opponent's resume, obviously, Radivoje Kalajdzic, he's obviously 29 wins, 2 losses, with 21 wins coming by way of knockout. And my mistake, he's only 33 years of age. It's just because I've seen him in the ring for so long, I thought he was older, but he's only 33. He's currently ranked number 8 by BoxRec in the light heavyweight division. So BoxRec has both of these guys ranked top 10. He stands at 6 feet 3 inches tall, so he is bigger than Morell, but has a slightly smaller reach at 76 inches. He is from Belgrade, Serbia, now living and residing in St. Petersburg, Florida. But to list some of his best wins, his losses as well. First off, his first ever career defeat. I was actually at this fight in April of 2016. He did lose via split decision to Marcus Brown. I remember they aired this fight, or this fight occurred after the main event, I remember. And it was a really, really good fight. He lost it via split decision, but it was a excellent fight. I mean, there was knockdowns. Kalajdzic went down in the first, Brown went down in the sixth, and it was somewhat controversial. It was just a very fun fight to watch, might I say. And I was a young kid there, but it was pretty fun to watch as well. But moving on, I mean, his other loss happened, obviously, when he fought for the IBF light heavyweight world title against Artur Beterbiev. He got knocked out in the 5th round. He got dominated in that fight, though. It was down 40-35, got dropped in the 3rd, ended up getting stopped standing in the 5th. And then most recently, he actually got a really, really good win. I mean, prior to this, he hasn't really gotten any super, great level wins in his career. I mean, he's mostly just kind of fought guys and had decent level performances against them. But most recently in March of 2024, he got a really nice win, knocking out, despite being an older fighter, he knocked out Sullivan Barrera in the 10th and final round. He was up pretty big on the scorecards as well. And he just got a solid win there, knocking Barrera out in the final round. And that's what really got him this title shot for this vacant WBA world title. But in my opinion, this fight is obviously a pretty decent fight, obviously, for David Morrell. I mean, when you look at his career, although he's been fighting for belts since a few fights in, I mean he's definitely a rising fighter, and I definitely would love to see him fight even more high-rated guys. But now with light heavyweight, it's going to be interesting to see how he kind of switches into that weight class. But I mean, when you look at the WBA rankings, you see Kalajdzic is ranked number 4, so well within getting this title shot as well. And obviously, David Morrell is the current regular champion at the weight class below 168. So, I mean, if I'm going to break down this fight and how I see it going, I really see it all going for David Morrell. I mean, Morrell has just been a force in the ring, and even though he's kind of stepping up by fighting Kalajdzic, I don't really think it's big enough of a step up where he's going to see much struggle in this one. Like, I really think that Morrell is at that level with these guys like Plant, like Benavidez, like all these high-level guys. I think he's right there with them, and I think that as he grows throughout his career, I think, sorry if you do hear noise in the background, but if he continues to grow and fight better competition, and remember, he only has 10 fights, so we could really see in the near future him fighting more and more excellent fighters as he rises up. But back to this fight here, how I see it going round by round. I really just see Morrell pressing the action, pressing really the force in this fight, and I see him just dictating the pace. And Kalajdzic isn't really a fighter that tries to kind of stay on the outside, not get hit, or I mean he just likes to slug in there. I mean, I've seen him. He's not necessarily really the most defensive fighter, if I'm going to be honest. He's kind of he usually likes to kind of press forward a bit, fights at mid-range. Not really the most extreme defensive counter fighter, but I mean, he's overall a well-rounded guy. He's got solid power, decent defense, but I mean, for someone like Morrell, I mean, Morrell's southpaw has crazy power in his hands, and especially when he's obviously the favorite in all these fights, he likes to come forward. But I know Morrell has good defense, and he also has the capability to box on the outside, which we could see when he steps up in competition even more. But in this one, I think we're going to see Morrell kind of pressing the action more as the younger guy, really trying to get the older guy out of there. And I think that we will see Morrell get a stoppage here, and I think it will happen pretty early. I think Morrell will get the stoppage within the first 4 rounds of this fight. And I think when he gets that stoppage, I think he will be ahead pretty handily. I think he will win almost every single round. We might maybe see Kalajdzic edge around or something like that just by maybe just like a feel-out round that he kind of just edges out. But either way, I could either see like after like 3 rounds, like let's say this ends in like the 4th or something, I could see like Morrell being up 29-28 or 30-27, kind of like in his fight versus like Alontes Fox or versus Calvin Henderson, where we just see him kind of pressing forward, maybe just trying to figure the guy out for a few rounds, and then finally, after like 3 or 4 rounds, we really get to see him find his opening, start to land his shots, and get the stoppage and get the guy out of there. And that's what I think we're going to see here. I don't necessarily think that Kalajdzic has the most amazing chin, which is why I think that Morrell will kind of feel him out for a few rounds. Could be something like that, just feels him out, and then probably like the 4th round, something like that, we will see Morrell get that stoppage there. Probably 4th or 5th round, I see Morrell continuing to press forward, and then finally getting to get some shots through, hurting Kalajdzic, and then ending up stopping him. And that's how I see this fight going. So if you made this fight, or excuse me, if you made it this far in the video, I'd really appreciate if you guys could obviously comment down below your thoughts on my prediction. And I'd really appreciate if you guys go hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And so overall, I believe that David Morrell will become a 2-division champion, as I think he will pick up this vacant WBA regular title at light heavyweight with a stoppage win in the kind of earlier 4th or possibly 5th round, like 3rd, 4th, or 5th round over Radivoje Kalajdzic. And that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.